Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD, and I'm here to bring you guys tonight another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the blue Protoss player. His name is WhiteRa. And over in the top right-hand corner of the map, I don't even know how I'm going to say this, but we have the red Zerg player, IlickPanties. Alright, there, I did it. I was like, for the first 5 minutes before I started this recording, I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. I can't even keep a serious face while I cast this game with this guy's name. IlickPanties Overlord right now is sniffing, moving his way across the map. My god, I'm just having these delirious thoughts going through my brain right now. So, oh my god. Alright, so we have IlickPanties as the red Zerg at the top right hand corner of the map, and WhiteRa down in the bottom left. The map is, oh god, I think it's Frozen Glacier or something like that. We'll note here that Protoss versus Rock no longer need apply because Rock is now moved 1 or 2 hexes down to the bottom. So WhiteRa can forge fast expand, but he decides to go Naniwa style. Is going to be throwing up a pylon and a gateway at the front right here where the ramp is, and chrono boosting his probes right now. And that's kind of, you know, WhiteRa's prerogative here. He can go for Forge Fast Expand against IlickPanties, or if he doesn't want to do that, he can go Naniwa style if he wants as well. That's kind of the recurring theme here in Heart of the Swarm. With the Naniwa style opening, you can actually get out the Mothership Core a little bit faster, and that helps against something like quick Swarm Host, and it also just allows you to play a little bit more aggressively as Protoss as well. And of course, it keeps the Zerg from getting the third hatchery really early on, so IlickPanties will not be able to get the third hatchery as soon as he would like to. But he's getting a spawning pool right now, and WhiteRa moves his way inside and is going to zap that spawning pool down. WhiteRa here, the policeman, doesn't want to let that spawning pool come up, and unfortunately the probe just doesn't have enough firepower, was not equipped well enough from the department. So now he is going to prey on IlickPanties' poor drones, and that drone is actually getting zapped pretty well there. "Don't tase me, bro," he says, and WhiteRa says, alright, fine, I'm out of here. So, IlickPanties here obviously will probably want to get rid of this probe at some point here because he's just going around tasing everything. But back over here on the other side of the map, that Overlord has seen the front door. It's like, no Forge Fast Expand, no Nexus first, and it is actually going to be Gateway Cybernetics Core. Now, as Zerg, when you see something like this, you gotta be super careful. And I know IlickPanties is already pretty careful as it is because he probably doesn't want to get caught doing whatever he does best, but you really don't want to go and be too droney here. And I don't know how else to say that, because as Zerg, if you let the Protoss, you know, you see the gateway of the Cybernetics Core, you got to be so careful about a 4-gate. That's one of the things that still happens from time to time, and I know WhiteRa doesn't do the 4-gate. I know a lot of pros don't do it, but you just still got to be extra careful about that. So we do have some Zerglings on the way right now, but maybe those Zerglings should come back and save the poor drones, because the Taser probe is still here, and now it's got real firepower. He just called in the SWAT backup, and those drones have got to run away, but a Queen is out right now, and the Queen, will she be able to defend her dronelings? One Zergling is going to die there. One drone actually going to be pulled away at the last second. Very nice micro right there by IlickPanties, and that Queen should be able to get rid of the Zealot, but now that a Stalker comes in as well, that's what I'm talking about. As Protoss, you got to be so you can be so aggressive when you go the Naniwa style, and that Stalker, will it be able to pick off the Queen? Oh yeah, the Queen tried to run off the creep, and it just had nowhere to go. And so WhiteRa going in there, taking out, oh, there's a new drone death animation, gonna micro them off the creep, and WhiteRa with a very nice attack right there, kills off 3 drones, well, maybe not 3 drones, but he kills off a Queen and a couple of drones. Let's check the workers kill tab. 2 workers killed, so 2 drones, and WhiteRa, being that he opened up with the Gateway Core style, can be aggressive against a Zerg player, and that's the kind of the emphasis I'm really trying to point to you guys. And now, with Heart of the Swarm, you also get the Mothership Core, so can you imagine if the Zealot and Stalker had stayed alive just a little bit longer, and then they got aerial backup as well? I mean, right now, IlickPanties has no way to stop the air attack. I mean, he's got a Queen, but with the Zealot and another Stalker coming in, just a Stalker, I guess, it will be enough to take out this Queen. That Stalker must go down for IlickPanties, but he was not able to get it before the Queen died, and now he will be able to kill it off with the drones, but man, WhiteRa is just doing so much damage. Has killed off 4 workers already. Will the Mothership Core go down? It will. Oh, half of its bits and remnants falling down into the chasm below. And that actually is pretty good for Mr. IlickPanties. We can see WhiteRa did not even grab the natural as early as you would have thought. He went 3-gate pressure, not 4-gate, so not super crazy, but 3-gate pressure. And actually, IlickPanties played that pretty well. Now, he did lose a lot of drones, but he killed off that mothership core at the very last second. As that core was flying away, trying to get out of harm's way, it went down. So with that core going down, all of a sudden this game kind of flipping around, because now IlickPanties can be very aggressive, and he's going to move in here with a lot of Zerglings. He's going to take out some sentries possibly, or at the very least force him to use a ton of energy. And Protoss, you're not looking too good. WhiteRa in a lot of trouble. Has to use, what, 4 force fields, loses half of his sentries in the process, and now has to try to set up his natural expansion. And really kind of just an old school opening, 3-gate expand. You don't see this very often in Protoss versus Zerg, and I feel like right now he is on the back foot. IlickPanties coming in with more speedlings. He knows sentries are not that big of a threat right now because there's only 2 on the field, and so he forces the remainder of the energy to come out for WhiteRa, and now he's going to try to take out this Nexus, but he knows he doesn't have enough firepower, so he goes for the sentries instead. Going to get 2 more sentries down. Absolutely brutal here for WhiteRa, who has now been dropped down to only 1 sentry. We can see the resources lost here for Protoss at 1,500. That is pretty bad for WhiteRa, and now he's going to have to get his ish together if he wants to stabilize his front door and get back in this game, because certainly at this point, the Zerg is starting to run rampant. He's already got a 3rd hatchery, in fact. I will say, though, one thing about this map, this snowy version here on Heart of the Swarm, is it's pretty hard for Zerg to expand and control in a late game, because if you look at the 3rd hatchery here, you've got a possibility to go here or here. Here it's pretty easy for Protoss to be aggressive with the pylon on the ledge, and here it's pretty easy for Protoss to just outright attack through the center of the map. So that's a couple of things here that Mr. IlickPanties is going to have to be extremely cautious about, because I feel like in the late game this is a Protoss favorite map. So we'll see what IlickPanties does, what his mid-game composition will be here. It looks like, from the looks of things, he is going Roach Warren and Hydralisk Den, and so he's going to try to rock the Roach Hydra against WhiteRa, but I don't know. We'll see if that's going to be effective. Now, Hydras are good only once they get to Hive Tech, once they get Hydra speed. At Lair, I don't know if they're actually that good of a unit, but we can see, hey, he's making those Hydralisks. He's making 4 right now with the Groove Spines upgrade. He will want to get to Hive Tech as quickly as possible so he can unlock the oh-so-important muscular augments. That's the Hydralisk speed, and he will definitely need that if he wants to combat WhiteRa with the Roach Hydra army. And right now it does look like WhiteRa just kind of making a lot of sentries, has an Immortal out on the field, has a 2nd Immortal in fact, and so at this point WhiteRa is prepared for Roach Zergling. And Immortal Sentry is extremely strong and very good against Roach Zergling, but against Hydralisks, things start to get a little more cloudy. It's not entirely sure if WhiteRa's going to be able to hold this off, or if he can really even be aggressive. And we can see there he had to cancel the pylon because he saw the Hydralisk, and he's like, well, I don't know if I can actually hold a pylon at that position. But wow, that Zergling just splattered right there, and now WhiteRa's just canceling pylons. He's like, well, I don't know if I can hold the pylon here, so I'm going to go back here. Maybe he's going to throw it behind the chasm, or perhaps he's going to just try to set up a 3rd base himself. That seems to be the looks of things right now. The Zerglings are just getting obliterated left and right. That Zergling saw what happened to his other 2 Zergling friends. He was like, no, I don't want to die in that way. So he's out of there. He's running for it. And WhiteRa right now probably going to look to set up a 3rd Nexus. And that probe looking to do it. Will he drop that Nexus down? He is going for Robotics Bay right now, and that is advisable because he saw the Hydralisks on the field, and of course Colossus, as always, have been a very good unit against Hydralisks. And at this moment in time, the reason why I say IlickPanties needs to get to Hive as soon as possible is because once Protoss get Colossus or Storm, Hydralisks without speed are they're just not good. They will die very quickly, and so IlickPanties is trying to get up to Hive right now. It is on the way. It seems that he might be able to get Hydra speed in time. We'll have to see, depending on if WhiteRa decides to make a push or not. You'd think that WhiteRa would push as soon as his Colossus and Extended Thermal Lance is ready, because that is going to be a great window, a great timing in order to attack and maybe take advantage of the fact that IlickPanties doesn't have... I can't believe I'm saying that right now. IlickPanties, I can't believe I'm saying that. He might try to take advantage of the fact of IlickPanties not having a Hydra speed done yet. We'll see. Infestor fungal upgrade is on the way as well. 2-2 at the moment for the Zerg player. No, actually 1-1, but 2-2 is on the way. And it seems that WhiteRa is about to finish his +1 armor only. So WhiteRa actually falling a little bit behind in upgrades. I'd like to see a second forge come down. I'm curious as to why he hasn't thrown a forge down yet. I think it would be a good idea because you don't want to fall behind in upgrades either against the Zerg army. We can see that a couple of hallucinated Phoenix are flying around the map right now. And of course, now in Heart of the Storm, hallucination is free. You don't have to research it. And so you can easily just make a couple of Phoenixes with remaining Sentry energy and fly around the map and figure out what's going on. But IlickPanties says, you know what, you send in hallucinated stuff, I can send you some hallucinated stuff too. In fact, these guys are so good that they can transform into your own army. And now he's going to send the Zealots on a mission here, the Changelings that is, to see what is going on inside the Protoss base. Now he should see that yes, there is Colossus on the map. And with that, we'll see what kind of units he decides to augment his Hydra army with. He doesn't have Hydra speed coming yet, but he has Vipers on the field. And the Vipers now starting to consume the buildings around them to get enough energy, presumably for an abduct. But why doesn't he have Hydra speed yet? He needs some muscular augments. I think he might have just forgot to get Hydra speed, so that could be a critical mistake here. And he's going to go in. He's got to be so careful because WhiteRa can force field those Hydras, and once they're off creep without speed, force fields just completely neuter them, but it does look like IlickPanties is going to yank the Colossus in. Oh my god, that was perverted. He gets the Colossus in, and he takes out 2 Colossus for free. Now he can just play the cat and mouse game and continue to pull the Colossus in. Beautiful plays here. Hydra, Viper. A pretty good composition in late game for Zerg versus Protoss, and IlickPanties making good use of it, but does he have enough army to hold off this attack? That Immortal up there has 6 kills and 2 HP, but it's still staying alive. Will it finally drop? Yes, it will. And the Mothership Core also going down as well. It looks like IlickPanties is going to be able to hold. No doubt thanks to the Spine Crawlers and of course the OP Fungal Growth coming in a couple of times there, and now WhiteRa is gonna have to pull away. But I gotta say, the highlight of that last battle was definitely Panties and his ability to yank in those Colossus. And that was exactly how you want to play Hydra Viper, a composition that actually I totally kind of forgot about here in Heart of the Swarm, but it is a viable strategy. You still need Hydra speed though, don't get me wrong, which at this moment in time he still doesn't have. I don't know why, but he's going in with the Vipers one more time. The reason for the Vipers here is because they are so good against what is good against Hydras, and that is the Colossus. So if there are Colossus on the field, Vipers can yank those Colossus in, and all of a sudden, the thing that made Colossus great against Hydralisks, which is their massive range, all of a sudden it's not effective anymore. And you yank those next to the Hydralisk, and the Hydras just kind of they salivate from their fangs, and they take down that Colossus so quickly. So that is one way for IlickPanties to make use of Hydralisk, but he needs that speed. He's on the way right now. Muscular augments. He's also getting Burrow Charge for Ultralisks as well. And so we're going to see some late game Ultras here against WhiteRa, and that's not bad. I mean, Burrow Charge is amazing. It's just absolutely fantastic in Heart of the Storm here. It makes Ultralisks that much better. And I feel like now WhiteRa is on the back foot. You know, Colossus are not good against burrow charging Ultras, and they're not good against Vipers. I love to see WhiteRa. Oh, what was that? Looks like WhiteRa with that one Zealot, the Gatekeeper, kills off the rocks just in time so the Zerglings will not be able to get through. But I was gonna say, I feel like WhiteRa here in the late game, he needs to make either some Tempests to round out his army, maybe a couple of Carriers, because he cannot stay on ground Colossus tech and hope to win against Burrow Charge Ultras and Vipers. I've seen it many, many times. It just never works. The Zerg is just too strong of an army at that point, and not even counting Fungal Growth either. And at this moment, IlickPanties only has 1 Ultralist, so it's not too serious. Actually, he's got 2 more. I don't know where they are. Looks like they're chilling in the back of the army right now. But if IlickPanties, if he micros his way through correctly and plays the Burrow Charging Ultras and the Vipers right, then he should be able to take out a Colossus army of WhiteRa. But we'll have to see. It's unsure right now, and it does seem like WhiteRa is going to make a couple of Tempests, so that is good that he's going to switch over to Sky Toss and get some of the air units out, because Tempests are amazing, really, against the army that IlickPanties currently has on the field, except for, I guess, the Speed Hydras. But it does seem like a couple of Zealots were trying to go in on Rambo mission. They are taken out. Right now the Zerg is looking for the pylon, but there wasn't a pylon. It was just kind of brought over on the ground. And these Zerglings are going to be able to break through these rocks here, even though they don't have adrenal glands. But with the rocks going down, there are still 2 photon cannons there. We do see a Warp Prism coming out for WhiteRa with 4 Zealots. Gonna go right into the heart of the Zerg main base, and look at all the juicy tech structures here that WhiteRa can take out. There are 2 Spires morphing in at the same time as well. But in the meantime, Panties coming in, yanking in Colossus, but the Colossus were not yanked far enough. He has to use another yank to get the Colossus in. Will we see more abducts? A couple of Infested Terrans coming out. Pretty good micro so far from IlickPanties, but oh, the Colossus now coming in, and they will get taken down so quickly. Very nice control here from the Zerg player, but meanwhile, the Warp Prism has unloaded a lot of Zealots and can continue to bring in reinforcements. Meanwhile, will WhiteRa be able to make a hold? It looks like he shall. With the Tempest overhead, there just wasn't enough Hydras remaining to take out the Tempest, and now, all of a sudden, IlickPanties has to be worried about the Zealots. The police are inside of his main base right now and are threatening to take him to prison. He needs to come bring his Zerg units back to save the Spire, and will he be able to do it or not? That Spire is going down, so we will not see Brood Lords, we will not see Corruptors, and that is exactly what IlickPanties needs in order to combat Tempest. Or you could go Speed Hydras, but I would much prefer to see Corruptors on the field rather than Speed Hydras against Tempest. But we'll have to see, because that last fight went pretty well for WhiteRa. He's now starting to go around the back here with the Warp Prism, gonna try to take out a couple more drones. Looking at the Workers Killed tab right now, this game seems pretty close. Unit resources lost, actually pretty close as well, 13k to 13k. Upgrades right now just across the board, 3-3 for Zerg. Only 3 weapons for WhiteRa, who hasn't not actually taken the liberty to get any armor upgrades at all, or shield upgrades. Would love to see him get some of those on the field, as he's making armor right now. And the Zerg taking the bottom right expansion as well. Now it looks like IlickPanties gonna go in with the Ultras and the Hydralisk, gonna try to bombard his way through this Nexus, and he should be able to take it down pretty quickly. Now, will he stay? I don't think he should. He needs to pull back, take his win, and not overextend here, but he's still sticking around and fighting, and that's where the Tempest can start to just cleave down these Hydralisks. The Hydras just don't have, I don't think, enough firepower to take out this many Tempests. Meanwhile, WhiteRa not actually using this Warp Prism in the backfield. He needs to bring over some Zealots and start to attack the Zerg base. And in the meantime, in the main fight here, Ultra versus Immortal. The Immortal slays it down, and I don't know why. I don't know why the Zerg stayed so long there. He took out the Nexus, objective accomplished. You know, why stay and waste more Zerg units than you don't need? And at this moment in time, he really could have used those Zerg units on the defense, because now he is going to lose his hive, and he's still trying to attack through the center area. I guess the reason why he's attacking here is because he wants to take out all these Tempests before they get too large in number. That is one thing about Tempest that is just so nasty and hard to deal with. When they get into critical mass, they are damn near impossible to kill. So maybe that's why IlickPanties is being so aggressive right now. He does have some roaches over here at the Protoss 4th base. I'm going to be able to take this down. This is actually the 3rd base, excuse me. And a couple of Zealots warping in, but just not enough. And IlickPanties here might be able to kill off another Nexus, but does he have an answer for the Tempest right now, which are continuing to just pound through the Zerg army? Looks like they will be called back to try to save this Nexus, but the Nexus shall not be saved. And the Zerg, taking a pretty good edge there, has killed off another Nexus of WhiteRa. You can see now the income for the Protoss player starting to plummet. Only 720 minerals per minute and 400 gas or so. He's really only mining off of one base, which is the one back here, and he's going to lose another Nexus. IlickPanties in control of this game. Very nice micro here. Even though he doesn't have an army to fight the Tempest off, he's just playing cat and mouse. Every time WhiteRa maneuvers his army to save the Nexus down in the bottom right, guess what? The Zerg army's over here, and every time WhiteRa brings the army back over here, guess what? There's Zerg units over here. And honestly, if the red Zerg wanted to, he could unburrow these 2 roaches and start to harass this Nexus as well, but I think he might be waiting for probes to go ahead and populate that area, and then he'll bring out his roaches. So very good play so far, and he's actually got quite a bit of Hydras here. These Hydras are 3-3 upgraded with Hydra Speed and Groove Spines. So I think that he might have enough to take out these Tempests, but the question is, will he be able to blow through the Archons and the Carriers first? Looks like that Archon got a little bit ahead of himself, taking quite a bit of damage right there. And now IlickPanties going in, takes out the 2 Archons, has to take out the 2 carriers before he can get over to the Tempest in the backfield. He starts to burrow charge his Ultra in, interrupting the Colossus, and he takes out everything. And now it's just the Tempest remaining, but he doesn't have enough Hydras. But that's okay. He attacks into the other expansion, and WhiteRa has to call GG. Unbelievable game right there. That was an epic one from WhiteRa, and I don't believe this, but IlickPanties wins the game against WhiteRa. That was unreal, and a very nice play so far. So hope you guys enjoyed that, cast. If you did, check me out. I'm at YouTube HD StarCraft, Facebook and Twitter as well. Feel free to subscribe, and of course gonna have more StarCraft 2 replays for you guys, so do stay tuned. And this is HD signing out.